Hi everybody. Today I am here to answer the caregiver question. Does guardianship override power of attorney? The simple answer is yes, but there are situations where a guardian may not be appointed if there is a power of attorney. But let's take the question further. Once a guardian is appointed, meaning guardianship is granted by a court, the powers granted to a power of attorney agent end. That power of attorney is voided, it's finished, it's no longer in place, and I'll explain why. Guardianship is granted through a court process, as many of you may know, versus power of attorney being granted through the creation of a legal document. And in the best case scenarios, that legal document is created by an elder law, an estate planning, or a probate attorney with experience. Some people create their own power of attorney documents. They may download them from the internet or get forms from some website. But here's the thing. In addition to asking the question, does guardianship override power of attorney? There are a lot of questions families should be asking, like, does guardianship always have to be granted by the court? Under what circumstances is a guardian really needed? What support is available for family members involved in guardianship proceedings? How are probate courts that grant guardianship monitored? Because of my experience, I can tell you there are two sides to every guardianship or conservatorship situation. And while a lot of these situations work out well, not all guardianship hearings and situations have happy endings. Sometimes there are well-meaning family members who don't have the money to hire an attorney, or they hire the wrong attorney. Guardianship and conservatorship issues are complicated. So stay with me while I share some examples of when guardianship is granted and takes the place of power of attorney. I'll also share a situation where power of attorney remained in effect and guardianship wasn't granted. Now, if you have more questions after you watch this video about guardianship, on my YouTube channel, type the word guardianship into the search bar and many other videos will show up. So why am I even qualified to talk to you about this? I'm Pamela D Wilson. I served as a professional fiduciary, a court-appointed guardian, conservator, medical and financial power of attorney, and a trustee for 11 years of my 25-year career. Today, I consult with families, with caregivers to navigate the health, the financial, the legal aspects of caregiving, including all of those complex family relationships. I also serve as an expert witness for attorneys litigating guardianship and conservatorship cases in this area, plus elder abuse, care standards, home care, and other matters. You can learn more about me by going to my website, PamelaDWilson.com. There's also links below this video you can click on. Please do, if you're watching this video, like the video, follow my channel, share these videos, and comment, even if it's only to say thank you. One little thank you goes a long way in helping other people find their way here. So let's start with just some basic context about guardianship so that we can set a basis for the examples that I'm about to share. So guardianship can sometimes be called guardianship of the person, guardianship of the property or the estate, or in some states the word conservatorship is used in place of guardianship. So guardian of the person, guardian of the property, or guardian of the estate. Different in every state. But the idea around of the person and of the estate is similar. Guardianship is a level above medical power of attorney and financial power of attorney, again, because it's granted by the court. So the person in this role of a guardian or a conservator has absolute decision-making power, which is why it just shouldn't automatically be granted, because it's a serious responsibility. Any guardian or a conservator, whether a family member or a professional, should be very, very careful to follow through on the wishes of the person for whom they are appointed. And this type of decision-making in many cases is called substituted judgment if it's for an older adult. So how do we know when guardianship or conservatorship is necessary? When I was appointed in either role, it was because of a variety of situations. So here's the examples. Number one, an elderly person diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia or another type of cognitive impairment who did not have anyone named as their medical or financial power of attorney. And so in this case, because they lacked the mental capacity, which is a court term, a guardian or a conservator had to be appointed to make decisions for them. And so in these cases, the only option was to appoint a guardian or a conservator. Situation number two, an elderly person may have appointed a medical or a financial power of attorney agent who was a family member or a friend who doesn't want to be involved, who for their own personal reasons, maybe health reasons, stress, something else, they cannot serve in this position. And they also did not want to accept the position of a guardian or a conservator. And so at that point, someone else has to be appointed. Now, in a perfect world, the person who is medical or financial power of attorney would find someone else to take that role, but sometimes people go to attorneys, and attorneys help these individuals who don't want to serve find a professional or someone else. So in many of these cases, I was appointed the guardian. Situation number three. These are situations regarding elder abuse and neglect. And in some of these situations, it was self-neglect because an older person had Alzheimer's or dementia or a cognitive impairment, and they didn't even realize that they weren't taking care of themselves or that they couldn't take care of themselves. They may not have taken medications. They may not have been bathing, changing their clothes, going to the doctor, taking care of themselves because their cognitive impairment, the memory loss, the effect on the brain made it such that they really couldn't even notice that they weren't taking care of themselves. Now, in some situations of elder abuse and neglect, it could be a family member or a friend or somebody else who's taking advantage of this elderly person, who could be a grandparent, an elderly parent, maybe it's a spouse taking advantage of a spouse, friends taking advantage of somebody, all different kinds of situations. And so in these situations, normally somebody finds out. It's reported to the police or Adult Protective Services or a county attorney or other people in the probate system or the elder justice system. So these people then become involved, and they try to research to see if there are family members who can serve as a guardian or who are willing to serve as a guardian. If not, sometimes they find professionals like myself, or some states have an office of the public guardian where they will have volunteer guardians serve in these roles. So example number 4, which is the last one, and this one talks about a judge not always having to appoint a guardian. If there is a power of attorney in place and there is enough factual evidence to show that this power of attorney is doing their job and the person does not object to what they're doing. So I am proof of this. Years ago, I was the medical power of attorney for a client. A family member during this time petitioned for guardianship, and that guardianship was denied. Now, obviously, there is a lot more to the story, but I can say from personal experience that a judge does not always have to grant guardianship. So, as you can see, there are a lot of situations where a family member or a person named as power of attorney can be appointed as a guardian or a conservator, or a professional can be appointed, or the Office of Public Guardian can offer a volunteer to serve in this role. But it's not always necessary. So to answer the question from this video, yes, in all cases where there is a court appointment of a guardian or a conservator, power of attorney documents null and void. I want to thank the caregiver who asked this question. If you have a question for a future video, please do share it in the comment section below. You can also go to my website, PamelaDWilson.com, click on the Contact Me button, and click on Caregiver Survey. You can share additional information there. Again, more information about guardianship, power of attorney, and caregiving is on my website at PamelaDWilson.com. If you are watching this on YouTube, which you probably are, just type in guardianship or power of attorney in that search bar on my channel, and other videos will come up. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all again soon in another video.